A surprise debut is possibly happening tonight on AEW Dynamite. It is March 9th, 2022. We got all the details. Also, in addition to that, Ring of Honor AEW purchase details. It seems like they may have rushed this sale because there's a couple things in limbo. We need to discuss that in detail. Also, Dolph Ziggler has won the NXT Championship. A very questionable move, but highly regarded as a positive move for WWE. So let's discuss that. If you guys want more videos like this, go ahead and click that subscribe button, ring the bell, all that little whatever. Do what you got to do to support the channel. I greatly appreciate it. Let's talk about it. Dolph Ziggler is now the NXT champion. He defeated Tommaso Ciampa and Braun Breaker. On the bright side, Braun Breaker wasn't pinned. And obviously with WWE, you never really know what's going to happen. But this to me was actually a good move. They've been storytelling with Braun Breaker, Tommaso Ciampa, and Ziggler for a minute now. Also, we saw Braun Breaker and Ciampa on the main roster, and I think this was all, I think this was all a good business move for WWE in general. But there's a couple things I specifically want to take a look at, which is why I want to talk about this, because I see a lot of people not talking about it. For one, when NXT first started, when NXT really became this thing, I would say around 2012, 2013, 2014, it was normal to see cross promotion between wrestlers from the main roster coming to NXT. Now NXT 2.0 is kind of taking it a step further because you're having NXT guys show up on Raw, which is pretty sweet. It's just a good look in general for these people to get that experience, especially somebody like, Braun Breaker, who is relatively new. I think he just started wrestling like a year ago. Number two, one of the most important things I want people to realize is that NXT has actually been doing storytelling, and not everything's perfect, but for the most part, there is storytelling going on with WWE NXT. And I think there's a lot of people who are, they're messaging me on Discord and they're saying, Ango, you've been pretty accurate. Like NXT is actually pretty good. It's, it's not that it's good. It's not that it's bad. It's that WWE is really trying to hone in on these characters and these stories. So ultimately, I think a lot of people do enjoy that type of wrestling. But most importantly, Dolph Ziggler probably won't be doing anything for WrestleMania weekend. You have him show up as Stand and Deliver. More than likely, WWE can continue promoting Stand and Deliver, which, by the way, with this group of people in NXT, they have not experienced anything outside of the Performance Center. COVID ruined a lot in terms of NXT. So this is a good way for WWE to have some main roster appeal to the event. I do expect Braun Breaker to be the two-time NXT champion at Stand and Deliver. It's happening literally on the same day as WrestleMania, which is really cool. Dolph Ziggler gets a world championship. By the way, Dolph Ziggler, Bobby Roode have been absolutely incredible in this storyline. But what's been even better is to see how WWE has actually booked Tommaso Ciampa and Braun Breaker on the main roster as well. It's just something to keep in mind. It's a good move for WWE, and I look forward to seeing what more they can do with it. And also, I just really want to mention this too. AEW and ROH, we already know that ROH is expected to be the developmental deal. So if you're one of those people who think developmental sucks, if you don't like this idea of what NXT is doing right now, you're not going to like ROH. You're not going to like ROH because ROH is going to be kind of like the developmental grounds for AEW. We discussed this in another video, okay? We have some more updates on it. But my point that I'm making is ROH is going to serve as a developmental. There's going to be a lot of things Tony Khan can try on ROH that he can't try on Dynamite or Rampage, so keep that in mind. Now, with that being said, SE Scoops has shared tons of details on this. Obviously, we'll see as things go on, but basically, the feeling is that the deal went in reverse and backward because it came together quickly, and now the details actually need to be figured out. So there's a couple things I want to talk about. One, ROH employees were told the company doesn't get the impression that the new regime is interested in hiring them after the sale goes through, and the employees are encouraged to look for other work. Severance packages are being considered, but nothing is decided on yet. So with this move, AEW, Tony Khan buying ROH, there is a very big possibility that a lot of people could be losing their jobs. Now, obviously, you never really know with these types of things until it, actually comes out. But usually when a sale of a company is done, it just depends what type of industry you're in, because sometimes you take in the employees, sometimes you don't. Regarding the Honor Club streaming service, it is said to be in limbo, and ROH has a call scheduled with AEW to review the technical setup behind Honor Club and determine if that asset will be included in the deal. So this deal that Tony Khan and everybody in AEW has announced already talking about buying ROH and whatnot. We thought they were buying everything, the assets, the intellectual properties, everything. Well, according to this article and this scoop from SE Scoops, it appears that it's very well possible it may not actually be. The message to the ROH staff has been described as management is fighting for them and exploring how to help everyone, but there is no formal transition plan and no guarantee that anybody will stay on, which makes sense. Tony Khan obviously doesn't want people to lose their jobs. It would also be very hypocritical, just based on the way that he launched AEW. But with ROH, you got to keep in mind, it's just sometimes it's not possible to keep everybody. So that is going to be a very difficult decision. SE Scoops published another report regarding how plans are going for the upcoming Supercard of Honor, which is said to be in a state of disarray due to the sale. This is what I was scared of, because we never really got any word about, Supercard of Honor. ROH is said to be behind on the show's preparations ahead of it taking place on April 1st. ROH still needs to finalize the card, booking, travel arrangements, and other logistics. One top ROH employee told staff earlier this week that the show is still happening despite the sale. So this could very well be like the last hurrah for ROH. Which, by the way, keep in mind, I don't know, like champions, who will be a champion in the new ROH, like what's happening with the Briscoes, John Gresham. We did talk about on the channel before, John Gresham's been backstage at AEW prior to the sale. Right now, a lot of this is being said that Tony Khan's team wants to produce the pay-per-view and use their own production resources, and that they feel comfortable with as they've run that building before. AEW also wants to handle the booking of the show, but are said to be respectful of what's already in place. It was described as the AEW team wants things to go smoothly, but done their way. Again, very interesting. AEW has requested a list of talent that is booked for the show, which includes Joe Henry, Bandito, Jonathan Gresham, and the Briscoes. Although the Briscoes are not locked in just yet, which is really strange, because I could have sworn they announced the Briscoes were defending the belts. Nonetheless, ROH has created a new logo and come up with plans for a total rebranding that will go into place as part of the new chapter of the promotion. This includes new digital assets in addition to ring skirts and turnbuckle pads. AEW wants to use the current ROH logo at the pay-per-view to represent the end of this era before rebranding the promotion. ROH has TV produced through April 16th and are scheduled to air through that date, even if Khan's deal closes before then. So just in general, lots of big things happening with ROH and AEW. Going to be really sweet to see how it pans out. Jeff Hardy, we talked about this before, guys, so we're just bringing a quick little update as to what to expect. About a week ago or so, Fightful came out with the scoop. They came out with the report. Fightful Select dropped the report that Jeff Hardy was going to AEW. Then obviously we saw what happened with all this stuff, and Jeff Hardy was scheduled to be at Dynamite tonight. Now Matt Hardy is posting on Twitter basically setting up his babyface turn. The reason why this is important is obviously with Jeff Hardy going to AEW, Jeff Hardy would not be coming in as a heel. It wouldn't make sense based on all the circumstances, but also AEW has kind of been teasing the split from Matt Hardy and everybody else from his faction. So now it kind of looks like they're currently taking the step in the right direction. We've been following the story. It sounds like Jeff Hardy is scheduled to be backstage at Dynamite. That was what was originally reported by Fightful. Now he is no longer on his non-compete clause. He could very well show up tonight. If I'm AEW, I would have Jeff Hardy show up tonight on TV, backstage, something like that. Set up something for Rampage, get people to watch Rampage. That's what I would do. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.